So I hope to show why it is my belief that the CPOs and the SROs for this application are not in the public interest, because the majority of the public didn't know anything about them. The public are ignorant, if you will, but not of their own doing. The public are ignorant to this information because I say the council deliberately shut them out. You're absolutely right. A picture of a white elephant here. This is the view from my kitchen window, actually, and this is where the Southern Link Road is going to be. So I've covered it with white elephant. What is a white elephant? It's something that has, it costs a lot of money, but has no useful purpose, and then ultimately becomes a burden. Albino elephants, just to give you a bit of background, were regarded as holy in ancient times in Thailand and other ancient Asian countries. So keeping a white elephant was a very expensive undertaking, since the owner, he had to provide the elephant with special food as well as free access for people who wanted to come and worship it. So if a Thai king became dissatisfied with one of his subordinates, he would simply give him a white elephant. The gift would ultimately ruin the recipient because of the gradual financial drain of the keeping of the useless creature. Southern Link Road. Well, I think it's going to be a white elephant because there's simply no need for it. Traffic will merely be directed, redirected and rerouted from the existing South Wye road network onto another much bigger, more expensive one that will snake its way up and over beautiful, undulating, open, high-grade farmland and rise to obscene levels out of the ground as it's forced to traverse railway lines and roads. And that heralded that the Southern Link Road in isolation fully meets the objective of reducing congestion and delay. It's got a green tick on this stuff that I'm looking at here. This was handed out to people. So the new Southern Link Road, the SLR, fully meets the objective of reducing congestion and delay. Green tick. Appendix A of the brochure says that traffic will divert to use the new road and therefore reduces traffic, congestion and delay on the A465. That's what people were told when they attended that July public consultation. However, Mr Brooks, over the last 2 days, well, I think he said that the Southern Link Road cannot alleviate congestion and delay in isolation, and that the ATMs are needed in conjunction with the Southern Link Road. So I'm a little bit confused about that. But put simply, I believe the Southern Link Road in isolation or in conjunction with the ATMs won't relieve congestion and delay because the Southern Link Road is a white elephant. Nice idea, but completely doomed. And to understand that, we have to look at how folks use our local roads. People that live in Hereford understand how local people use our local roads. People that live outside Hereford probably don't understand that. I'm not sure how many people here at this inquiry understand our local roads. Forgive me if we've already gone through this. Last week I wasn't here, but at present, folks who need to get from the A465 to the A49 or back the other way, they use Haywood Lane. I live on Haywood Lane. There's never any congestion along Haywood Lane. In fact, it's a big long stretch of open country road that allows motorists to really put their foot down, actually. It's a 40-mile-an-hour zone, nobody cares, completely unpoliced. They whiz along 60, 70, 80, lovely. What that means is that folks can fly out of Belmont, turn left onto Haywood Lane and be at the A49 within minutes. Those coming out of Cleonga, they only need to make a right turn on the A465 onto the lane and pop out the other side without sitting in the Belmont Road traffic. And that's how it works. Those of us that live here, we get that. It's how it works. Further down the river, towards the river, if motorists want to cut across to the A49, they use Walnut Tree Avenue. It's not ideal, but that's what they do. These cars, the ones nearer to the river, they're simply not going to use the Southern Link Road because that would be additional miles added to their journey, because effectively they'd have to double back to get where they want to be, and that's just nonsense. Folks coming up from Abergavenny, well, for them, easy. Hop on the tram-in lane, use Knocker Hill to access the A45. Of course, I'm not sure that we've discussed the Pontrilas Bridge, have we? I don't know. Does everyone know there's a really low bridge at Pontrilas? So it means that HGVs can't get onto the A465, they can't get up to the Belmont Road because they'll get stuck under the bridge. So these guys, they've already diverted onto the A49 much sooner, south of Hereford, and they're whizzing up the Ross Road. So comments made from Mr. Ball about delaying and implementing the ATMs along Belmont Road until HGVs can be diverted seems misplaced, illogical and really frustrating. You can perhaps understand why local residents are very upset by the ATM inertia. There was no good reason for it. So, the roads that crisscross the A465 and the A49 are already in place. We don't need another one. We just need to update and police the ones that already exist, and that's not going to cost 27 million. So during peak times, the lanes, Hayward Lane, where I live, of course, can be busy. It's a rat run. But at all other times, the lanes are relatively quiet, sometimes even deserted at weekends and off-peak times. So who will use the Southern Link Road at the deserted times? Will the CPO of high-grade arable farmland given up to make way for the Southern Link Road just be a wasteful and expensive white elephant? Deserted at times too? Who knows? Is it worth taking the risk? Please consider this at the site visit tomorrow. The small movement of traffic that you witness along our lanes are quieter at different times. Does it really warrant the CPO and SROs associated with this application? Of course, the council should be focusing on introducing ATMs into Hereford, making better, sustainable, accessible transport networks for everybody. Mr. Brooks accepts that the CBR for the ATMs can rise significantly once in place, so perhaps he should just get on with it. Main gripe for me living on a rat run, well, it's not the volume of traffic, it's the speed of the traffic, with the vast majority exceeding the 40-mile-an-hour limit. Properly policed, the impact of the rural rat runs would be a very different story for local residents who are more concerned and frankly exasperated with the speed of the traffic left unchecked. More than anything else, it's not about volume, it's about speed. So now me, resident on a rat run, I now fear that we'll be left with a double whammy. And by that I mean we'll have the rat running and we'll also have this intrusive, vulgar road and all the adverse impacts associated with it right on our doorstep, affecting our family home and lives. But the council doing nothing to protect the rat run residents once the SLR is built. Of course, rat runners, well, they can still take their pick which road they want to use, but we're frightened of the double whammy. So asking folks to drive past their favourite rat run, because that's what we're asking people to do, and on up to a road, to a roundabout, to access the new Southern Link Road, will never be a natural choice for rat runners. They want to get from there to there as quickly as possible. They're never going to take the long way round. So the Southern Link Road is over 1.5 kilometres further on than the Hayward Lane turning. So, really, the Southern Link Road isn't going to be an attractive option for those coming out of Belmont. Further, the Southern Link Road will force motorists to negotiate two roundabouts, one at each end, which perhaps explains why the Parsons Brinckerhoff, in their transport assessment in May 2015, saw a rise in traffic levels along Hayward Lane in the 2032 modelling. So as time goes on, and with the Southern Link Road in place, and sections of the strategic network experience increased delays at pinch points, here's your roundabouts, sadly, the modelling alerts us to increases of traffic movements along rat runs.